Hey guys, Officer earlier here on Monorail Teal at the Ticket and Transportation Center, heading over to Epcot. I've never been there before, so I'm really excited. It's a super cool park. We got Guardians of the Galaxy to possibly try. I can't make a reservation or for the virtual queue until I'm at the park, unfortunately. I didn't wake up early enough to do it outside the park, so we're heading over there right now. It's 12:30. We should be just in time. I think said we were going to arrive at Epcot right at like 12:45, and we have to make our reservation like right at 1 o'clock for Guardians if we want to ride it. But there's still not a 100% chance that we'll get to ride it. But anyway.
Welcome aboard Monorail Teal while our next station is in the Epcot. For your own safety, please remain safe at all times. Just in case, things will never happen against the doors. Thank you.
All right, let's sit down and enjoy a ride to Epcot.
Welcome aboard the
There it is, Spaceship Earth. Giant geodesic sphere that also just looks like a freaking giant golf ball. It's so cool this monorail takes you inside of Epcot before it drops you off. Wow. Right over here is where all the construction is. It looks like they got a ton of people working on it though, so hopefully it gets done soon. Seen some concept art. It looks really cool. Wow, I can't believe I'm standing underneath this. I'm in disbelief that I'm even able to be at Walt Disney World. All right, we've got our first visit button and a guide map. First stop of the day is gonna be Club Cool. Okay, this cup has Beverly in it. Oh, it takes a while to sink in, yeah, okay. So it's got kind of a sweet flavor at first, then it gets really bitter. Yeah, that's gross. I'll try some of this other stuff to wash the taste of Beverly out. Ugh. Yeah, definitely recommend this cucumber Sprite. It's delicious. And then also this Minute Maid Joy from Korea, apple lychee, really good too. And I think we're gonna come back later and try some of these other flavors, because I don't want to mix too many random sodas from different countries in my stomach together. That does not sound like a good idea. Yeah, we're gonna have to stop in there later and get some more soda, because that was delicious. The ones that I tried anyway. Besides Beverly, that was good at first and then gross. Interesting soda for sure. It's used as like an appetizer drink out in Europe or something. I don't know. And just like that, we got in a boarding group for Guardians. It's a group like 120 something, and they're only boarding groups like 60 to 70. I don't know much about this attraction. Grand Fiesta Tour Boat Cruise? Huh. Maybe we'll come back to this later. I think it's an indoor dark ride on a boat. I'm pretty sure. Got the Donald over there, taking photos with families. The park doesn't seem that busy, but for some reason Frozen still has a 80-minute standby queue. So we'll just give that one a miss for now. All about presentation. Making our way around the World Showcase Lagoon. Passed by a couple of the pavilions so far. Look at all those chickens. What are those? I don't know what type of bird that is. There's a lot of them though. And there's a boat. Wow. Every pavilion I walk by, I just look over and just like in amazement. It's so cool. They put so much effort into the scenery here. It's really beautiful. One thing I can say is there's hardly any shade over here at all, like on this side of the lagoon anyway. Still got another half of the park to check out. There's Japan. So when Epcot was first conceived by Walt Disney back in the 1950s or 60s, I think it was the 60s, he envisioned it as a community of tomorrow, but that created all sorts of logistical problems. Like, people don't want to be governed by one company like that inside a city like that. So of course that never worked. And then once Disney died, they came up with a realistic plan for it, and this is what we ended up with. It's a permanent World Showcase. It's essentially like a big World's Fair, and all the different pavilions have shops and restaurants that you can try the different foods out for the different countries and different experiences. Only some of the pavilions have attractions and rides like that. Most of them have people from other countries there to represent all the different things that they do, like you have mariachi bands and other different cultural bands performing in the different pavilions, and more information about the different countries. It's a really cool experience. It's more cool if you have a lot of money to spend. Personally, I don't have a ton of money to go and explore all these different cultures, because I totally would. There's so much here to try and explore. So we're going to explore a lot of the rides and stuff today, not so much the food. But right now we're over in the France Pavilion. Oh, this France Pavilion is really cool. It's like you're almost walking down an alleyway. I think the Ratatouille ride's back here somewhere. We're approaching Ratatouille. It says it has a 40-minute wait, so let's go ahead and get in the line. For a second, I wasn't sure this queue had theming in it, but then you walk into this room.
And welcome to Paris, this city of light. I do hope you have brought your appetite, because tonight, Chef Larry is preparing one of his specialties, which I am certain you will enjoy. Remember, food always comes to those who love to cook, but not to those who are into dinner.
Yeah, I think the ride just went down. The music and everything just stopped in the queue. Okay then. Hello? Yeah, Ratatouille went down, so they're feeding us through the station and out the exit that way, and they're gonna give us a ticket to come back later. Yeah, there's like people on Remy's. Yeah, so they gave us a free lightning lane. We can come back there once it reopens later, or we can use it at some of the other experiences. Some of the main rides aren't included with it. Out here in the UK Pavilion, there's these old telephone booths set up that you could find. Of course, you see these all over London and different spots in the UK, but the funny part is that you actually used to be able to call these phone booths and they would ring and you could pick it up and answer it. I don't believe that it works anymore, but you can still go inside. Yeah, the phone doesn't work at all anymore. You pick it up and there's no dial tone. It's kind of unfortunate. This is a really cool little attraction here that people wouldn't know to do, you know? It's a courtesy phone that worked here for a while. It had its own phone number you could call. Made it over to Canada. This is the last pavilion around the World Showcase before we head back up to the front part of the park. It's so funny because a lot of the pavilions back here, like I mentioned, don't have any attractions other than the cultural stuff. Not many rides in each pavilion. However, up toward the front of the park, all around there is where all the other attractions are, like Test Track and Guardians and all that type of stuff, because it doesn't really fit in with any specific country or area. So. The landscaping is incredible, of course, because it is the Flower and Garden Festival. Very excited for this. It's not the original ride, but it's still really cool. Of course, at some point they decided to get rid of Figment, and it was just called Journey into Your Imagination. And the ride is different and not as fun as the original. And then they decided to bring Figment back, but I still don't think it's the same ride as the original one. But we got Figment. Says it has a 10-minute standby.
Sensoriales, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del vehículo. Y cuida los pequeñitos. Gracias.
Welcome
Absolutely not. This is one of our discoveries, the figment of imagination.
Yeah, I know all about the senses. There's sight, sound, smell, touch, cookie cookie go, and taste. Taste my chicken. Can I go? Please, please, please.
No, I don't want you out of my sight.
Out of sight? Okay. Come on, everybody. Here we go.
Figment, you are not to interfere with the tour. Our first stop is the Sound Lab. We'll begin by testing your hearing with a series of tones. Left ear, right ear. Left, right. What? This is odd. Hello?
Hello.
Who is this?
It's Figment.
Figment? I thought I told you not to interfere.
But you got it wrong, Doc. It's not about listening with your ears. It's about listening with your imagination.
Now I've completely lost my train of thought.
No, you haven't. It's over here. All aboard. Woo-hoo! Next stop, imagination. For every sound your ears are hearing, 1,000 thoughts can start appearing, and each of us imagines different things. From just the sound, your mind has wings.
Continuing now, if I may, in a calm, scientific.
Uh-oh. Alright. I don't think that's how that scene is supposed to go. Okay. See you later.
I said imagination must be captured and controlled.
Imagination works best when it's set free. Just turn your imagination loose and anything can happen.
Figment? Figment? Oh, he's gone. Our research shows that smells often trigger the imagination, especially when pleasant, familiar smells come into play.
Come into play. I'd love to.
This is not a good time.
It's always a good time to use your imagination. So let the good times roll. Woo! You win one cent.
Figment, don't! Really stinks.
Of course, Doc. The nose knows. One awful whiff can send you reeling. One lovely sniff can be appealing. Your mind may find
You know, I'm sorry, but after that big stink in the smell lab, I hesitate to send you into the touch and taste labs. Perhaps I should end my open house right here.
Great idea! We'll go to my open house instead. It's much more fun. Right this way, everybody.
Figment, what is going on? You're turning this entire open house upside down.
Upside down? Now you're talking. That's the best idea you've had all day. With just a spark of inspiration, I made my house an innovation. Imagination really clowns around. Things come kind of and upside down.
plainly see imagination works the best when it's set free.
You said it, Doc. Imagination is a blast. Imagination, imagination. A dream can be a dream come true. With just that spark from me and you.
All inspiration is at the heart of all creation, right at the start of everything is new.
Come out of the exit, you have all these cool interactive games.
Touch a lighted panel to begin. Then follow the pattern.
It's cool. Couldn't get that to work right, but that's alright. Of course, some of this stuff is really old school. Super cool for the kids. Hey, wait a minute. She's not from Journey to Imagination. All the Journey into Imagination merchandise. It's really cool, except for this one little figment thing. It looks kind of like nightmare fuel. We just got out of the Imagination Pavilion. Journey into Imagination is a really cool dark ride. What a classic. I really love all of the scenes and stuff. I think some of that is actually original from the ride that came out back in the day. But yeah, it's really cool. I especially love Figment, of course. And I feel like one of the scenes in there wasn't working properly, though. We pulled up into the iChart scene, and there's supposed to be a song playing there, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. And the song wasn't playing. We just sat in silence, but that's okay. I actually meant to report it to one of the cast members as I was leaving, but I totally forgot. So I feel bad for anyone riding that today who has to deal with the broken show scene. That's okay. This has only a 5-minute wait. Let's go ahead and do it. Nice key line. Is this real sand? No. Oh, that's cool. They have a ride like this at Disney California Adventure, but it's with the Little Mermaid. I don't like these clamshells. They're not as good as the clamshells on like Mako at SeaWorld, but these are pretty cool.
Oh, science is great, there's so much to know. Climb aboard explorers, it's time to go.
What if Nemo's swimming out the sea?
Oh, don't worry, just keep your eyes open for along the way. Oh, let's go explore, let's go explore the big world.
I'm looking for my son!
I can help. Oh, no!
Nemo!
Where?
No, that's why we have to find him.
Find who?
Oh. Nemo! Where are you, Nemo?
Who's Nemo?
He's my son. You know that. We've already been adventuring. Stop playing games!
Games? I love games. Oh, I'm thinking of something. These bouncy that looks like
Jellyfish!
right. Okay, now I'm thinking of something.
That's jellyfish!
Whoa! You're like totally stopped. Well, here's what you do. Stay in your seats while the crush man sees what he can do to get you moving
For
again.
goodness sakes.
Big old blue.
This is the third time today. What the hell?
Listen up, explorers. Good news. Stay in your seats because we're about to get started again. Keep your eye out for Nemo along the way. Oh, let's go.
Okay then.
Stop playing games!
Games? I love games. Oh, I'm thinking of something big and bouncy that looks like a balloon.
Jellyfish!
Right. Okay, now I'm thinking of something.
Hurry, do something!
Hey, Snoopy Jaws.
Whoa! You're like
totally stop.
Wow, that's cool.
You can't chew, here's what you do. Stay in your seats while the Crush Man sees what he can do to get you moving again. In the big old blue. Stop fooling around!
What is going on right now? These Disney dark rides are
It's the
breaking.
Crush Man with some totally awesome news. Stay in your seats because you're about to start riding it again, dudes. Rock on!
Okay then.
Whoa! You're like totally stopped. You keep the chew. Here's
Haven't
what
heard
you
that
do.
one before.
Stay in your seats while the Crush Man sees what he can do to get you moving again.
I'd like an intro exit, please.
Stop fooling around!
Okay, yeah, we're stuck here on Nemo. Hopefully we get an intro exit.
Oh, let's go.
Morsel, mate. Fish are friends for food. I wonder if clownfish taste.
It's Nemo! Look, Mr. Ray, here comes Nemo!
Oh, there you are, Nemo.
Things I've never seen before.
Totally, dudes.
So many creatures swimming around the sea.
Hi, I'm Dory.
The big blue world.
And it's exactly 3.2 seconds between clams.
And just like that, we're back at SeaWorld.
There's dolphins on! There's a dolphin! Yeah! Look, over there.
I didn't know manatees ate with their fins. That's cool. I saw them like pushing that lettuce into his mouth. Anyway, we just got off the seas with Nemo and friends, and the ride broke down a couple of times while we were in it. It's not technically considered a breakdown, but it's like a stop in the show scene when your vehicle just stops. But the problem with this ride is it says an announcement every time the vehicles stop. It's like Crush comes on and he's like, "Yo, dude, you're totally stuck." But it came on like 3 times when we were riding it, so it was kind of a bit of a meme. Everyone just started laughing after the 3rd time. But I feel like I missed out on part of that ride too. I don't know what's going on today with these dark rides. I don't know. We're 0 for 3 here at Epcot so far. Hopefully we have better luck with Guardians, because I know that's an even more technical ride than anything that's been built here before. Nothing to see here, literally. Except for work walls and trees. This whole thing here is blacked out. It used to say Journey of Water, whatever that is. Post down in the comments, because I don't even know. Stop back on the Club Cool, and they're doing a trash can for us outside. I found the rest of the good rides. You can see right over there's Guardians. That actually might be the Wonders of Life Pavilion. It's been closed for several years, I believe, and they only use for special events. Over here's Mission Space. You got the two options, green, which is a nice, easier ride, and then the orange, it puts you in a centrifugal force machine that's like really intense. And probably more intense than they ever intended. I don't know if they ever thought this ride would give people as much motion sickness as it does, the orange one. But yeah, luckily they added a green version shortly after opening to deal with all the people who can't handle the forces. But we are going to ride this, I think. I don't know if I want to try the orange version just yet. It seems a bit intense. I'm not really too good with crazy motion like that. I don't know, we'll have to see how it is. And then Test Track. It's right over here. I think we're gonna ride Test Track first because our time for Guardians is coming up pretty soon, and it's like right over there. So if we get in line for this, hopefully by the time we get off, we'll be ready for Guardians. Looks like Test Track has a single rider line. It's built into the lightning lane, so let's go ahead and get on there real quick. That's nice. We're gonna miss out on a lot of the cool interactive theming that they have here for Test Track because we're going up the single rider line, but I don't really feel like waiting 45 minutes to experience this, so let's go ahead and get on this thing. So maybe it has a 10-minute wait. And look, you can even still do the design thing. Okay, and you scan your park ticket over here. English. Power, we want power, pedal to the metal. This classic looking hot rod. Okay. Let's go. Tap your ticket right here and it'll load your car. We're about to get on. I waited less than 5 minutes for it.
Oh, Jesus. To see how your vehicle designs perform under challenging weather.
There's nothing to hold on to, so fuck it. Yeah, so you just let it go. Let's go.
Let's see how your designs hold up.
Off-road? Why didn't you design a car for off-road?
Capability test results displayed and verified.
Now let's see how your vehicles respond when you come on.
get spit out here into this exit area, and you can check your score. Mine was 199. Wow, look at that. There's a nice Corvette in here. That's a real car. This is really fun. You can race the car that you raced with in the test track thing here, and you just have to have two hands because I'm driving only with one. But yeah, there's my car, and you make it go forwards or backwards using the controls, which is kind of cool. Yeah, it's really cool they add these interactive things at the end of some of the rides here. I like it a lot. Really cool park. Yeah, and you can even crash into other cars. Of course, the ride's sponsored by Chevrolet, so they have a big showroom full of cars you can purchase. Not here at the park, of course, at your local dealership. Yeah, it was a really cool experience. I think it's still the fastest ride here at Disney, and Florida anyway. Still have just a little ways to wait for our boarding group over at Guardian, so we're gonna have to figure out something else to do. And we have a whole hour once we go and do something. One of these days we'll come back and explore the Flower Garden Festival and purchase some of the samples and stuff. But yeah, we're not in that type of market right now. We're just here to explore. First time here. So exciting. Let's head back across the center of the park over to the Land Pavilion to check out Living with the Land. Another dark ride. This is another informative dark ride. It kind of teaches you about agriculture and things like that, like, you know, natural foods and stuff. Soarin' and Living with the Land, but I think we're just doing Living with the Land for now because Soarin' still has a pretty long queue. It's really funny, there's like a movie up there called Awesome Planet, and the guy working the entrance, he was like, it's an easy way to get downstairs. You can't say you've done everything at Walt Disney World until you've done this. So I'm just guessing it, just nobody rides it, or watches it, I guess. Got a 5-minute wait here for Living with the Land. Let's go.
Of discovery and awareness of the richness, the diversity, and the often surprising nature of living with the land. Our journey begins as dramatic and sudden changes are sweeping over the land. The approaching storm may seem violent and destructive to us, but to nature, it's a new beginning in the cycle of life.
Just imagine there's a freaky creature out there and everything else is fine.
The surface of the land, roots trap water from the flowing mud, extracting precious nutrients and minerals. These elements, when combined with sunlight, create the diverse living systems of our planet. One of those living systems is the rainforest, home to the most amazing concentration of life on our planet. These dense and beautiful forests cover only a tiny portion of the Earth's surface, but they contain more than half of its plant and animal species. Rainforests are also extremely rich and productive living systems, providing us with oxygen, food, medicines, and other elements essential to our lives.
Little baby buffalo.
Of all the forces at work on the land, humans have had one of the most profound effects. The need to produce food for a growing world led to the enormous use and sometimes overuse of the land. In our search for more efficient ways to grow food, we often fail to realize.
Yeah, I like that. Send me a bunch of that video.
Welcome to our living laboratories, where scientists from Epcot and the U.S. Department of Agriculture are exploring innovative ways to produce bountiful harvests now and into the future.
Dragon fruit. Rice.
The tropics are home to the greatest diversity of plants on the planet. Many of these, like papaya, bananas, cacao, coffee, and rice, are well known around the world. These are just a few of the edible plants that have been an important source of nutrition for people living in the tropics. Many are rich in vitamins and minerals, while others are well adapted to growing in less than ideal conditions. Some, like the water lily, thrive in wet, swampy areas and waterways. All parts of this plant, even the flower petals, are edible. The starchy root of the plant has long been used to make flour for baking. One day, many of these lesser-known tropical plants may be as important as the bananas growing on both sides of the boat. More than 28 million tons of bananas are eaten annually, making it the most popular fruit in the world. When we mention farming, you probably don't think of fish. But fish farming, or aquaculture, accounts for nearly half of all the seafood consumed globally. Tilapia, bass, and catfish, like the ones you see here, are three of the more popular crops raised by fish farmers. The sustainable system we're using here recycles the water in the tanks. As a result, we're able to save millions of gallons each year. Our small fish farm produces nearly 5,000 pounds of fish each year to serve in restaurants around Walt Disney World. Innovations like this one can play an important role in our efforts to produce bountiful harvests and still protect natural resources.
Actually get a walking tour. That's cool.
Oh, that's a big one right there.
It's shrimp. A huge shrimp.
While there are more than 50,000 edible plant species in the world, most of us are only familiar with the handful that make up our everyday diet. The common grains growing here, wheat, maize, sorghum, and millet, plus rice, account for nearly 2/3 of our global food consumption. Learning how to increase yields of these staples is an important goal of research around the world.
Canola. Oh, look, there's some passion fruit. Sunflowers. Extremely hot. Oh, that's the Carolina Reaper.
These plants are definitely on their way up. Innovative growing techniques like these increase yields while more efficiently using resources like water, fertilizer, and pesticides. Another innovation at work here is our integrated pest management program. By populating our greenhouses with beneficial insects that prey on harmful pests like aphids and flies, we are significantly reducing our reliance on conventional pesticides. We're growing these crops using our nutrient film system. This technique precisely controls and recycles water and nutrients. With it, we can produce over 27,000 heads of lettuce a year in this one small area.
Nutrient film technique. Lettuce. Nutrient film technique. I guess it uses those things that it grows stuff out of. More edible tomato tree. That's a big tree. Tomatoes.
Some of our best ideas have been inspired by nature, like these fruit and vegetable trees. By growing these ground plants vertically, we can increase yields and better control diseases. These crops taste as good as they look. In fact, we serve more than 15 tons of produce from our greenhouses in restaurants here at the land every year.
Here are the cucumbers. Kind of hungry.
The future of agriculture may include innovative ideas like this vertical growing system. Plants grown in this way use a fraction of the space required by traditional growing methods. That saves water and increases production. The aquaponics system on your left combines hydroponics with aquaculture. The fish provide a natural source of fertilizer for the plants, and the plants help keep the water clean for the fish. It's another great way to produce more while using less. In our lab, Epcot scientists are working with the U.S. Department of Agriculture on a number of innovative projects. The goal of these efforts is to produce higher yielding and better quality plants.
We just came out of the land pavilion, and that's a really cool ride. We rode Living with the Land, and that's one of the longest rides I've ever been on. It took 14 or 15 minutes to ride that. It was really cool and informative. They taught you all types of things about agriculture and how things are grown naturally and how to sustain, like make crops grow better without pesticides and stuff like that. And it's a really cool experience. They really do teach you a ton of stuff in there, and it is more of an informative type of ride. And if you're not really into learning things like that, I totally understand, but there's a lot to see in there. It's really cool. And then we still have to go back over there for Soarin' later. Hopefully it doesn't have much of a line. Look, even got a monorail in the background. That was really cool. I think we're actually going to be finishing up our day here at Epcot for our first ever visit. It was a lot of fun checking out all the different attractions and stuff, and we're still missing a lot. Like, we haven't done Spaceship Earth, and there's Soarin' and some other rides that we haven't done yet. So yeah, there's still so much for us to see here at Epcot. So thank you all for joining me today, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace out.